Well, Secretary of State Marco Rubio meeting just moments ago with Syria's foreign minister. Rubio is in Germany leading the U.S. delegation at the Munich Security Conference. He's set to give an address tomorrow amid strained relations between the U.S. and numerous nations. Rubio says he hopes to meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky, seen here, touring a drone factory this morning. Another round of U.S. brokered talks aimed at ending Russia's war on Ukraine will take place next week in Switzerland. The fate of those talks and the nearly four-year-old war are again dominating this annual conference. Several members of Congress and some potential 2028 presidential candidates also happen to be in Munich. California Governor Gavin Newsom spoke on a climate change panel a short time ago.
Donald Trump is temporary. He'll be gone in 3 years. California is a stable and reliable partner in this space. And it's important for folks to understand the temporary nature of this current administration in relationship to the issue of climate change and climate policy.
Governor. Well, NewsNation international correspondent Robert Sherman is live from Rome, tracking the latest developments there in Munich. Robert.
Well, hey there, Nicole. If you listened to the president before he boarded Marine One, he hit on Iran, Iraq, Venezuela, the Arctic, NATO, as well as the situation in Ukraine. That just goes to show how fluid and how dynamic the geopolitical landscape is right now. And that is the environment that Secretary of State Marco Rubio has arrived into in Munich, Germany, here for the Munich Security Conference, which is one of the, if not the most significant gatherings of heads of state, of diplomats, of national security experts every single year. This is the opportunity for the Western world to align its interests when it comes to their own security and defense. All of these topics that we just mentioned there, they're on the docket here in Munich. You may recall last year, J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States, ended up being the most talked about address at this event for the way that he very pointedly criticized Europe on the issues of immigration, on not spending enough on their defense, on not doing enough when it comes to the collective environment in NATO. Secretary of State Marco Rubio was asked what he intends to speak about, and here's what he said.
The old world is gone, frankly, the world I grew up in, and we live in a new era in geopolitics, and it's going to require all of us to sort of re-examine what that looks like and what our role is going to be.
To give you an idea of who's here, of course, the Secretary of State, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Emmanuel Macron of France, Friedrich Merz of Germany, already meeting with the Secretary of State earlier today. Then, of course, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who already has been making the rounds in Munich so far. Secretary of State says that he's hoping to chat with him, especially ahead of these now announced talks that are set to take place in Switzerland next week between the Americans, the Russians, and the Ukrainians. That would be the third iteration of these trilateral talks. There's a lot riding on these conversations that are taking place in Munich as we speak. Nicole.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Robert Sherman live for us there in Rome. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.